This is your Buddha painting, and I'm very fond of this painting. I think it's one of the best that you've done. I like the spirituality of it, the light, the colours, the forms. It's excellent. Hi, I'm Michael Bossum, and I've come to work with Elisabeth van Uden.
Welcome in my studio in the Netherlands. I hope you enjoy it. This is the encaustic paper.
And this is encaustic board. Elisabeth is using a foam board and taping down the paper onto that board. It's a 300-gram sealed card. That's the regular card that's used for encaustic. And the board helps to keep the card rigid during the blowing process. To stop dirt coming out from inside the iron, and it can't be helped that the wax goes inside the iron, use a piece of tissue down at the front point end of the iron. Turn it up to a little bit above low because you're going to dribble the wax off, so keep it a little bit higher than normal. And then start with your clear wax. Elisabeth is going to demonstrate the basics of blowing with a hot air gun here. And in this approach, clear wax is placed over the whole of the surface of the card, and it's very important that it's the whole of the surface. The clear wax acts as a liquefier, or a flux, that enables the coloured waxes to flow on all parts. If there are gaps where there is no clear wax, then holes will appear when you do the blowing. The next step is to put on the colours, and white gives light. Now you might need to turn the temperature up because you're dribbling the wax off of the iron, and you want to do that as fast as you can really. Just trying to lay the colour onto the card, and what you need to notice is how much Elisabeth puts onto this card before she starts the actual blowing. Elisabeth has been working with wax since 1992 and has a great deal of experience in this particular field. You can clean the iron in between, although quite often you don't really have to, especially if you're going on to similar colours like the yellow here. So just keep on laying the colour on until the whole card is covered with the colours as you want them to be. Hot air guns come in all forms, shapes and sizes. This one has a viewer to show you the temperature and a dial to set the input temperature of the gun. These can get very hot, mind, so be careful. Normally you're working on a middle temperature. This one has all of the qualities. It's an ideal really. Number 1 on this handle dial affects the airflow and makes a very soft airflow. And the higher the number, the stronger the blow. You could see there the red hot element of the gun. They get up to about 650 Celsius sometimes. That is very hot, so be careful when you're working. As you begin, first of all you heat the wax up, so you're moving around the card, heating the wax up. It starts to melt, it starts to move. Watch what's happening all the time. And keep the point of the gun dancing like Elisabeth is showing here so clearly. If you remain static in any one place, two things happen. You blow the wax away and you start to overheat the card. Now at 600 Celsius, if you've got it on a high temperature, that can actually damage the card, cause it to burn even. So keep the hot air dancing. That's the trick. Now you see the wax is moving, it's mobile. And Elisabeth is picking up the board, the rigid board that the card is taped down onto, so that she can tilt and pan the board as well as blow the wax around. Notice how the wax flows. The clear wax underneath is making sure that there's always liquid when the hot air touches it, and therefore it melts. And also notice how the rigid board makes it very easy to work the wax and to move it around. Now this could be a sky, or it could be a background for a fantasy or an abstract of some sort. Notice also the plain paper, the waste paper that Elisabeth has underneath the board. It is likely that some wax will dribble off. Doesn't matter, it's not wasted because it's done its work. But that piece of paper there can be used to collect the waste wax as it dribbles off, if that should happen. You can see that the closer you get to the wax, the more outward the blowing form is. So Elisabeth is using a combination of direct blowing and dribbling, allowing the wax to flow down the board and, if necessary, drip off onto the paper underneath. Working in this style allows lovely light to be developed in the images, light and fluidity. And the colours don't muddy so much, provided you're a little bit careful, because nothing's actually touching them. They're just mingling together as you blow, and you can always blow lighter colours back over the dark ones if it gets too dull. When you finish, put the gun down safely, take the tape off, and you have your hot air work to view. Of course, you can always work into this some more. You can either heat it up with a hot air gun again, or work with other tools to develop an image, whatever you like. The holes that you see are there because that area remained dry, so make sure there's clear wax over the whole of the card.
My idea about the DVD is that people can show it how you work with Encaustic.
Well, I think it'll help lots of people.
That's I think this time is very important. We got more artists who work with wax. I think that's very important because it's a want. We need them.